Hi everyone, it's Meade Skelton with another vlog chat for you. This is another installment about spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is a very real thing, and there are many demons, out in the spiritual realm that come to oppress people and make their lives more difficult, especially Christians. A lot of people argue, how could a Christian be under the oppression of demons? Well, of course they can be, because remember, Satan really hates you, especially if you're one of God's children, and if you're a saved person, he's going to do everything he can to try to make that difficult for you. About a week ago, I felt a lift in my spirit, and I didn't know what it was exactly, and I realized it was a spirit of perfectionism, because up until then, I was being very moody and irritable and cranky. And I was very unhappy with everything. I was unhappy with my, the paint job in my room. I thought, oh, this is crummy. And I was unhappy I was trying to do a whole bunch of different projects. And I was thinking, oh, this is a mess. And it's nothing like I want it to be. Everything is out of order. I can't stand it. I can't stand chaos. I hate my life. I hate my hair. I hate my looks. I hate my position. And I was having a very pitiful, a lot of self-pity. And this all goes under the spirit of perfectionism. Now, the spirit of perfectionism often rides on the coattails of the critical spirit. And we all know people like that, right? With the critical spirit, nothing is right. Nothing is good. You'll never measure up with the critical spirit. And we all know people like that. And they make our lives really not very nice, because they're always focused on the negative, never the positive. And I can be that way sometimes, And part of being an INFP, my personality, we're very perfectionistic, and we can be very critical of ourselves and other people. So we have to, every day is a choice, of course. We can let these spirits in, by our thoughts, by our actions, by our thoughts especially. That's why the Bible says we must hold every thought captive, because what it is you get an invitation by a thought, and when you feed on those thoughts, the spirits come in. And that's where the spirit of perfectionism comes in. That's where the spirit of critical, heavy spirit of woe, spirit of regret, spirit of nostalgia. There's so many different demons out there, and many of them work together. It's really, you can call them by name. They're mentioned in the Bible sometimes, but a lot of these spirits work together. Some are more powerful than others. But a spirit of perfectionism, it won't let you rest. It's a driving spirit. You have to get things done. You can't take a break. You have to do this, do that. You have to do it right. And if it doesn't work out the first time, you just go all to pieces, all to pieces. I was very frustrated. It causes a lot of frustration. It causes you to go inward and turn on yourself. So here's a website. I think there's a website I found on the spirit of perfectionism. I must put on my glasses. I don't like putting on my glasses because I can see every little imperfection on my face. Oh no. Spirit of perfectionism, though, is a real thing. And this touches on it. This is I believe this is a deliverance ministry. It talks about spirit of perfectionism. What does the spirit of perfectionism do? The spirit of perfectionism can be a ruthless taskmaster in the life of a Christian. It is a demonic spirit whose primary mission is to drive a person, including a pastor, missionary, or Christian worker, to utter exhaustion and to place of discouragement, defeat, despair, hopelessness. It is an accusing and condemning spirit, always reminding the client of how much they don't measure up. Now that sounds a lot like the critical spirit, right? I think they're pretty much together. They tie together. It can also function as a mocking spirit in a Christian's life, pointing out all their failures and deceiving a person into thinking they're not worthy of God's love and forgiveness, or for the task of which God has called them. So remember, these are the voices. Now, when you hear the voices, some people think you're cuckoo, cuckoo, ooh, you're cuckoo, you hear voices, but we all hear voices. We all hear that inner voice that works against us. So this is what they'll say. You're not good enough. You'll never be. You're a failure. Failure. You'll never measure up. You're so stupid. How could you do that? Moron. What an idiot. You'll never get it right. You're such a screw up. You're an embarrassment to your family and to others and to God. Nobody could ever love you. You're a worthless piece of trash. Just give up. Now, how many times have we all heard voices like that in our heads, trying to destroy our confidence and our sense of self-worth? In many people, in the eyes of many, we will never measure up because that's what our world is like right now. We live in a world like that is very critical, very accusatory, and it won't let it go. So how do you get rid of a critical spirit or a spirit of perfectionism? Well, you have to be in prayer. And the more you are in prayer, the more you are connected with God, these things will not like that. They want to sever that connection. They want you to pull away. And, it's funny that in times of crisis, some people draw closer to God, but other people pull away. And that's the worst thing you can do. So the best thing you can do in the times, when you're being criticized by this critical spirit is, well, first of all, say get behind thee, Satan, but also go to God in prayer, ask and also rebuke the spirit, send it to the pit, the fiery pit of judgment at the feet of Jesus, and call them by name. If you're in prayer and you're getting names of spirits, trying a spirit. There's a book called Trying a Spirit that a friend recommended to me. And I really think it's a good idea that you start doing this. So many Christians don't even know about spiritual warfare. They think it's not real. They think, oh, that's hooey. And they're Christians and they're blind. The spiritual world is very real. Something that we can't see, and it's maybe feels intangible, but it is very real, and it is very much working against us every day. I see it in the politicians, in the eyes of these misguided politicians. And so I see it in the media, and I see it everywhere. Everyone's getting very critical of each other. They don't uplift it. They're not uplifting people today. It's always, this is what's wrong with you, okay? Here's a list of things that are wrong with you, and you need to fix all these things. So this is a good way to address the spirit of perfectionism. The critical spirit is to draw nigh to the Lord and get that information of where it's coming from. A lot of these things come from wounds. They come from past disappointments. You might have been told in your life that you weren't good enough, that you didn't measure up, and you have to let go of these things, because what it can do is if you really don't let go of this, it can kill you eventually. It will weaken your immune system. It will eventually, it can manifest into the physiological. So a lot of people that have cancer, they have cancer because of a root of bitterness. And that root of bitterness might be unforgiveness, or things past hurts that they didn't let go of, and it manifests into that tumor growth, and those cells, and they multiply, and they metastasize, and they invade other cells, other healthy cells. This is a spiritual issue that is never addressed, because in the minds of these doctors, oh, that can't possibly be. So we have to be aware of the spiritual realm. And I'm so glad that the Lord lifted this spirit of perfectionism off me. I could not stand it. It would not let me sleep. So here's some other things to look for. Insomnia, that's a good clue that you're under the spirit of a critical spirit or perfectionism. Insomnia, depression, mood changes, irritability, all kinds of things. Now you definitely want to get yourself checked out. If you're having certain issues, go to the doctor. But if they can't find anything wrong with you, these things are definitely spiritual. So thank you all for watching. Remember, you can rebuke that critical spirit and send it to the pit of judgment. And I'm so glad that The Lord is getting me free of many, many things. Hope y'all stay tuned. I'm going to be singing this Sunday at a coffee shop for first time since quarantine time. I don't know if I'll have much of an audience because I still think they're takeout. So people will be picking up donuts and pastries while hearing strains of sweet tea, I guess, in the background. But oh well, it just feels so good to get out and play. And I'm done with my finals at school. I got mostly A's and B's. And I'm ready to go on to the next chapter of my life. So thank you all for watching. Go to my website at meadskeltonsplace.com. Bye.